The Book of Sand is a short story by Jorge Luis Borges, as well as the name of a fictional text, which is the central subject of that short story. Now, when I say short story, I mean it. The entire tale is barely 2 pages. The fictional text of the Book of Sand, however, is infinitely long. That's right, the book has infinitely many pages. Infinitely many. Indeed, the Book of Sand gets its name because its pages, like grains of sand on a beach, are without number. Or more specifically, the man who sells the protagonist the Book of Sand in the short story says that sand has no beginning or end, and neither do the pages of the Book of Sand. And what makes the Book of Sand so fascinating, what makes it worthy of this short story, is the phenomenon of getting lost in infinity. You flip open the Book of Sand to a random passage, how could it be anything but random, and you see that you're on page number 186,292 raised to the power of 9. The page features 2 columns of text, much as a Bible has, but each page also has a fascinating illustration. And the thing is, once you close the Book of Sand, you will never find any one of those illustrations ever again. Both the chances of flipping to it again, as well as the chances of turning to it from a different page, are infinitesimally small. In the short story, the protagonist tries to flip to the first page. He's unable to. There are always more pages between his thumb and the cover. Nor can he find the last page. And the short story describes him losing sleep over the Book of Sand, unable to rest because he is captivated with the thought of trying to find the same picture again, or finding new ones, or just exploring infinity. The Book of Sand, in this sense, is like a cursed artifact. It gnaws at the minds of those who possess it, disturbing them and their rest and their ordinary functioning. Welcome to PhD&D, everyone. I'm Dr. Bowers, and I love taking stuff from the work of Borges and Kafka and other modern writers and putting them into my role-playing games, such as Dungeons & Dragons. The Book of Sand is just such a neat idea that I cannot help but put it into all kinds of games that I run. And I advise that you do this too. Not only does the Book of Sand make a great cursed item for someone to get hooked to, but it also has some funny and unexpected positive features that your players might enjoy. Do they need kindling for a fire? Well, rip out a few hundred pages from the Book of Sand. Or rip out 1,000 pages, or 1,000,000 pages. It will never in any way decrease the total volume, nor is anything likely to be lost by this diminution. For every illustration that is thrown onto a fire, there are countlessly many others almost exactly like it, differing only in some tiny imperceptible detail. So if someone possesses the Book of Sand, one thing is for certain, there's no shortage of paper. When it comes to the book's negative effects, well, in the short story, the owner was unable to sleep, and that seems a little harsh. If you deprive your D&D PCs of the ability to, say, take a long rest, that becomes an emergency real quick. A bit milder, but still appreciably onerous, is to perhaps take away the PC's ability to take a short rest. The reason being is that they just can't sit still, they cannot concentrate, they're unable to do anything but obsess over that book as soon as they have the opportunity. And as they obsess, they pace around, they chatter, they talk to themselves. And they are sufficiently active to prevent them from actually getting any rest. As with any accursed item, the Book of Sand is something that a PC cannot just give away. In universe, we could say that they're obsessed with the book, it's too beautiful to give away. And finally, like any cursed item, you can build a fun little adventure out of how to get rid of this darn thing. You don't need to think of any additional sort of incentive here, just possessing the accursed book is incentive enough. As for how the protagonist got rid of it in the short story, he just hid it on a library shelf and vowed never to go down the street the library was on ever again. But that's a little too simple. If you want to make the Book of Sand a real challenge in your TTRPG, you'll want something special or magical to be required to separate the book from its victim. Possessor. It would also be interesting if you turned the book into an intelligent item. You know, maybe every now and then when the possessor flips to a certain page, it'll contain a message specifically for them. Or at least they'll think it does. And that's a fun spooky touch. A spooky touch to a captivating book, a book that is captivating in its idea, just as it captivates the characters in the short story. That's the Book of Sand. It's awesome. You should put it in your TTRPG. Anyway, thanks for watching. Don't forget to do all the internet stuff. Please click like and subscribe and hit the bell icon if you want notifications about all the new content that I upload every week on this channel. Thanks very much.